Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Three guys. Well, two of the three guys. We don't really have an official third, but
two guys in a fireplace.
Fireplace.
That was our original idea, remember?
It was.
So we might just scrap that and call it two guys in a fireplace from now on.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Call it three.
Let us know the new name.
Yes, we're open to suggestions on names. Absolutely.
Even if you refer to us as two goofballs and something, that's okay too.
That would be okay. Just keep it PG. It
Yeah,
is a family show.
A church.
Keep it. Yes. Keep it family friendly.
And we missed you guys last week. It was fun to have a week off. We celebrated our 25th in style, and you actually went out of town, didn't you?
I did. I actually drove 2,200 miles away from home. I drove to Wyoming, which was absolutely amazing. Never been out there. The furthest west I had ever been was Denver, or Boulder in Denver, Colorado, but I was only there for a weekend a few years ago. And I lived in Missouri for 6 months when I was 19, but I don't talk about that much. Missouri.
I remember those stories.
Yeah. But yes, Colorado, I flew into Colorado, but yeah, Wyoming was just absolutely amazing. Like I took pictures, I'm showing everybody pictures, posted a bunch on my personal social media yesterday, and it just doesn't do it justice. I mean, it just does not. Just the amazing, the beauty, the animals, the wildlife, the mountains, just everywhere.
Real deer?
Oh yeah. Like I'd never seen, what were they? I don't know. They're mixed between a deer and a goat or something. Not alpaca. Anyway, I'd never seen one. And I can't remember what they were called, but they were.
Goat.
No, it was antelope. Antelope.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, unreal. Saw a buffalo. Posted a picture of the buffalo. I think it was the size of my car.
Yeah.
Like the picture is just like, oh, it's a cute little. No, and there was a couple hundred of them out in the field. It was just amazing. Cold. Very cold. I'm from New York, so I'm kind of used to cold, although I've been here for 6.5 years. I woke up the first day, it was 28. I'm like, not too terrible. Friday, the day I left, I woke up, it was 18 degrees. And nope. I see the draw to people living there with the scenery and the no cell phone service and no street lights, but the cold, nope. Couldn't do that.
Yeah. He sent me a picture last week of a mountain view. He says, how can somebody not believe in God after looking at this view? And so, man, I couldn't agree more. It's good to have you back. I'm glad you drove safely and didn't run into any snow or none of that. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's good to be back.
Yeah, so nice week off, Howard. This is Thanksgiving week. And remember 2 weeks ago, it seemed like a century ago when we did this last, but we challenged you to think about what you were thankful for and maybe print it out today, type it out for us so we can see what you're thankful for as we're going through this. We'd like to see what God has done for you in this crazy year. So.
Yeah, please. Thanksgiving's in 2 days. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So
what are you doing? What's your tradition? What are you doing?
We don't have a real tradition. We've, for the last several years, kind of been nomads. We were actually talking about it last night. This will be the first year in like 4 or 5 years we've actually been home. We've just had different people invite us over in previous years, and we don't have a lot of, other than our family in my house, we don't have a lot of family here, so we just kind of went to different people's houses. This year, we're just going to hang out. We've thrown it out there to a few people. The doors are open, but I'll be chilling on the couch watching movies, and Maureen will be cooking, and just kind of hanging out. So that's really our Thanksgiving. We don't have a Thanksgiving tradition, per se. What about you guys?
Yeah. Well, for the last 3 years, this will be the third year in a row where I'm going to smoke a turkey. And I did it for the first time 2 years ago. I brined it overnight, and then I smoked it the next day. And I tell you, I can't go back. It's the best turkey I've ever had. 2 years in a row. Looking forward to this year. But we were going to do the whole thing, invite somebody over, or whatever. But this year just feels like we've been nothing but on the move, with moving into a new church, setting up and tearing down tents, moving into a new house that we're in. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to you just kind of laying on the couch, maybe watching a movie or something. I'm looking for a day off.
Or having the movie watch me, but
yeah, because I got to get up early to make the turkey that we're going to eat. So yeah, just gonna lay around, maybe let the movie watch us too.
Nice.
So
we're not having turkey this year because I'm the only one in my house that really likes turkey, and my wife obviously is a vegan, so she doesn't eat any kind of meat, and the girls just aren't into turkey. So normally we'll buy a small turkey breast, but this year we're doing a pork shoulder.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know what my wife. She's an amazing cook. I don't know what she's got planned for it. But all the girls like that, so that's where we're going with that.
Nice. Sounds like a good day off.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
We have, just so you guys know, we're under the tent. If you come, if you're online with us today, and when you come on Sundays, or if you see us on Sundays, we've had our 4th Sunday under the tent now. In the last 2 weeks, we've had over 90 people 96 and 93 people the last couple weeks under a tent in the woods in Homosassa.
Doubled our attendance, which is awesome.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of traction. We're gaining a lot of steam. People are starting to figure out, hey, there's a Christian church in the neighborhood, and we want to see what it's all about. So, man, if you guys haven't visited us yet, you're in for a treat. This Sunday, by the way, is our 5th Sunday of November.
Yep.
And so our leadership, long before we started this church, or as it was in its beginning stages, we decided that once a quarter, or once every 5th Sunday, if you will, we wanted to take a break and just have a breakfast. And that was 2 reasons for that. Mostly one is to get a break for our volunteers, the people that sing every week. You know, you guys set up and tear down and all that every week. Give the preachers a break. Yeah. But more importantly, it's so that we can get to know each other. We find that if we can sit down and have breakfast and talk with each other, we just get to know each other better. Yeah. And we purposely have you invite all your neighbors and stuff. So if you bring somebody in that's new, they can just kind of see us and meet us, and it's less structured. So anyway, that is this Sunday.
And we like food.
Yeah. And if you're hungry, come, because we're going to have a lot.
Somebody said to me the other day, you talk about food a lot.
You do
fat.
Talk about
I like food. I don't know what to tell you.
And you don't eat a lot of food, which is weird. You talk a lot.
I don't know. I like food.
Maybe you're just mad because you can't eat certain things.
Maybe. Hey, your sister's online.
Hey, Audrey.
Hey, Jeremy.
Topeka.
Jeremy, how you doing? You're
Jeremy,
here.
you're supposed to be working.
Come on, man.
You're supposed to be here.
And
working.
obviously, Miss Patty's always here. Miss Patty's a rock star, our #1
Patty,
fan.
thank you for the advice. I need to look at the camera more. You are right about that. Since we're under the tent now, we had to move that camera off to the side, so kind of making it out of the way. So I'll be honest with you, I never looked at the camera before. I just looked that way because I was looking straight ahead. But thanks for the tip. We'll definitely.
A secret on that is our camera. We have a confidence monitor in the back that our notes are on, or the singers.
Another secret.
Our camera was right next to the confidence monitor, so every time we looked at the confidence monitor, it looked like we were looking at the camera.
You just thought we were looking at you.
So now we have to update that a little bit. But thank you for that. We appreciate those kind of notes and things that Pat said we don't think about from the stage. So those are very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, we will. And if you just jumped on, remember, we type in what you're thankful for. We want to hear your hearts. What are you thankful for? And so, why don't we ask each other that? What are you thankful for most this year? Specifically in this crazy year, 2020. It has been nuts this year. I don't even know if there's, how would you have painted this year any differently? Only God knew what was going to happen this year. So what a crazy one. But what are you thankful for? What have you seen God do?
I think my family. And I know that might seem like a cliche, but my wife and my girls, man, it's been a rough year, obviously, for everybody. And through all the ups and downs, and I lost my disability last year, and getting this new job and trying to figure that out, what that looks like. I was on disability for 10, 12 years. And so trying to figure out what that looks like, and then throw in COVID and throw in all the craziness that we've been doing here at the church. And my wife is just a rock star. We were married for 15 years. We talked about this last month, where we went away for a week, celebrated our 15th anniversary, and she puts up with a lot. If you know me, I'm a handful. And but just this year, man, just to be able to spend time with her and get closer to her, and watch my girls grow. My 2 little ones are just they're rock stars. Yeah. They're cool kids. I guess I'm kind of biased because they're my kids, but and then my daughter Michaela, I can't say enough about her. She's one of my favorites, even though she doesn't agree to that. But and also thankful I got to see my son this past week. It was a quick trip. With me being away, and his plans changed, but so got to hang out with him a little bit, not as much as we wanted to, but so just very thankful to have a family that loves me, and that I'm able to love on the best way that I know how. What about you?
It's been a fun year. When you look at it, when you take yourself out of it, and you look at the world and the craziness that it is, all the we talk about all the things from pandemics to social unrest, and a presidential year we can't figure out how to even count things, because that's about as corrupt as it gets. It just, all the nonsense that's happened while still trying to plant a church, and the setbacks we've had in that, from all the different building problems and just trying to get permits and all that stuff, and it's going to work out. But no doubt it's tested our faith. And it reminds me of that story where Jesus talks about the man who builds his house on a good foundation. Yeah. And when the storms hit, our house is still standing. Yeah. And I can look back and say, even in this crazy year, where unfortunately a lot of people have been affected negatively this year, God has really blessed our family in so many ways. I can't get into all of them right now. It'd take about 3 hours to tell the stories about how God has blessed us, everything from financially to home-wise to just this body of people. I'm thankful for our body of people, our family, Christ Family Christian Church. I cannot say enough good things. We have thrown more at them, as we learned this church planting thing in this new age, in this new county. We're throwing the kitchen sink at them, and they're like, okay, where can we serve? Where do we go to work? How can we help? And man, I just can't say enough good things about Christ's family. I mean, they are just servant-hearted people, humble spirit, and they're my thankfulness this year for sure.
It's crazy. As much work as we have to do, I still think we have more servants than we do work.
Yeah.
Because anytime we throw something out there, hey, we need to get this done, and we'll talk, that may take a couple of days, and it's done in like an hour. Like, we just, you guys like has an absolute rock stars.
Yeah. I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful for God. I know that's the right answer every single day, but there is no doubt that He took Christ Family Christian Church in this year during this time and is growing us. When you talk about 93 people and 96 people in back-to-back weeks showing up under a tent in a
when it's still hot and humid out.
It's still hot, and it's like in the middle of a grass field, a courtyard, and our current building. We have to sit and look at our building we'll have one day while we're meeting under a tent, and yet we just keep growing. And I'm not just talking about growing number-wise, like we're growing deeper. People are definitely growing up in Christ under our very eyes. So let me ask you a question, because I know you've got one or two or 12, because I know I do. What's a law that you just can't stand? Like what's a law or rule or something? Not God's. Because those, you don't get to say you don't like those.
Man, there's a whole bunch that come to mind immediately. Seatbelt law is one of them.
Really?
I didn't grow up with a seatbelt. I can remember laying in the back window of my grandfather's Lincoln. And jumping all around the car. And seatbelts just, I don't know, they bug me. But now, because that's how kids are indoctrinated, we'll get in the car and the car tells you, got the bell going off, and then the little one's in the back seat, put your seatbelts on.
Hey, dummy, buckle up.
Yeah, exactly. Speed limit is another one where it was so nice being out west where like 75 is the speed limit. It's like,
You're getting past it.
Oh yeah, you are too. Like no joke. And yeah, I think gun laws. Yes, there needs to be standards. Not every just crazy person should be able to own a gun and carry a gun, but at the same time, Second Amendment's for. So I don't want to get political on it, but that we'll just leave it at that.
Well, we know what that's for. That was to protect us from our government,
right?
Not from necessarily from.
So yeah, I mean, and there's the wackadoos out there that probably shouldn't be carrying firearms, but those are, I think, my top 3 laws. That
it's funny you mentioned seatbelt. I remember when I was a kid, my grandfather. This is years and years ago, and I was a little guy. My grandfather used to have one of these big old boats. It was an Oldsmobile Tornado, which is a big old car. And he used to set me right on the armrest of the driver's door. Nobody wore seatbelts back then. And he would just kind of cruise around town with me sitting right there with my head out the window. And allegedly he had a beer in the console. I couldn't swear to that, but those just were different times, back then. But I'm with you on speed limits. I think our cars are getting so much better. And I think a lot of our, they're more safe. They stop quicker. They handle better. I think, speed limits in a lot of places are too low, but that's me. I like to drive fast. Dale, what do you think about that? Oh, where did you go, Dale?
Sorry, we no longer have a production director.
Yeah, where's your daughter?
Jeremy, thank you for the notes.
You were bragging about your daughter, and she's not even.
I know, that's my fault. She's
one of the things that I'm currently having this hard time with, and once again, not to get too crazy about this COVID thing, but so they have these new rules that at 10 o'clock you have to go curfews at 10.
Okay.
And I'm like, so in some places, of course, Florida doesn't do much of that, but I'm like, so COVID only spreads after 10? Like before 10, it's just some of the rules we're trying to enforce. And I get big picture, they're trying to stop assemblies and whatever. And no more than 10 people at your house for Thanksgiving because COVID doesn't spread under 10.
Right.
But at 11th person, and so once again, I'm being silly. I guess
I don't look at those as laws. I look at those as suggestions. I told my wife last night, I said, yeah, this infringes on my First Amendment right for life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness because I'm not happy when I wear a mask.
Right, so well, you have a problem, respiratory problem.
Yeah, well, I do, but...
It's just a crazy world. And I asked it because there's a lot of laws that we just simply follow. We've been talking about how Jesus, a couple weeks ago, didn't come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. So, when you talk about earthly laws or the crazy laws that we have, sometimes it's like you only follow these laws so you don't get punished.
Right.
Like, I'm only going the speed limit
exactly
because I don't want the ticket. I'm not happy about it. I'm not joyfully going 55 when I want to be going 65 or what have you.
Right.
But you see my point.
Yes.
And sometimes, if we're not careful, we get caught up doing that same thing with God's laws. Instead of understanding the heart of it, where God knows what's good for us, sometimes we just kind of grit our teeth and say, okay, well, I won't murder because you said it in the Ten Commandments. And Jesus kind of challenged that last week as we read. But, where he came and said, I'm telling you, you heard it said don't murder. I'm telling you, don't even get that spot of anger in your heart where you desire to do something more than what's Christ-like. And that's the challenge. I mean,
that is a challenge, especially with that one.
Do you have, because we've all been angry, right? I mean, people will always, I used to work in the car dealership, as you know, and one of the early sayings I heard years and years ago about a great leader, he told me, he says, your greatest disappointment will always be people in this business. Yeah. However, it will always be your greatest source of encouragement, people. And so that's true at a church. That's true wherever you go. I mean, people will always, they can make me mad, and it's hard to get me mad anymore, but they can do it. But at the end of the day, there's nothing more encouraging than when they grow and they get it. And they, So how do you keep yourself from being angry enough to sin? What do you do?
Look down at my hand. I kind of say that jokingly, but I still have probably more of a temper than I want. But years ago, especially in high school and after that, I punched many a wall. There's still, you can walk through my high school and I can pick out some of the lockers that I dented and spots in the gym where I was stupid and hauled off. And my senior year, I got mad and punched a brick wall and got into a fist fight with the brick wall, and obviously the brick wall won.
Yeah, it's like 80-0 versus
me. Yeah. So I actually, my wife thinks it's weird, but I still have the pins that they put in my hand, and I can see the scars, and then I keep them as a reminder of, hey, dummy, don't do that again. And doesn't mean I haven't lost my temper, and I'm sure my wife and kids can tell you plenty of times where I just lost it, but those things like that, a reminder of, hey, it's not worth it. It's okay. Yeah, punching. I could have done a lot worse than just snapping two bones in my hand. I could have completely shattered my hand.
Better than hitting a person, I suppose.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, and then it took me out of basketball for a while, and then in high school, that's what I was all about, was playing basketball, and and I was playing. I got mad, lost my temper, and it was something stupid, and I punched a brick wall. So that, I think that is a good reminder to me of just get over it. Take a deep breath. Think about it. Whatever whatever works for different people. But for me, it's remembering, hey, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
And now, I got my kids watching me. And we have one that likes to Hulk out, as we call it.
Yeah, that's CJ.
She'll
that's
get mad.
Squish for sure. I know
and I'm like, ooh, that, yeah, she gets that from me. So that,
future
remembering.
Pinhand of America.
Yeah. And even before I had kids, being in youth ministry for so many years, they're always watching. So you got to remember that things you do, that they're going to repeat or say, oh, look, he does it, and he's our youth pastor, so it's okay.
Yep, good point. And whether it has to do with people or what situations, one of the things I kind of play in my mind every time I start to want to get angry is I picture myself fast forward years and years down the road, when I'm a little old guy sitting on the front porch of my house in a field somewhere, watching grandkids play, and just watching how happy they are, and thinking back on my life. Will I ever come back to this spot that I'm getting ready to be angry about and be happy about that? Meaning, okay, is this being mad at this person or this event right now going to matter one day when my goal is to be an 80-year-old guy, whatever that number is, watching kids play? Will I look back and think, I was so glad I got mad about that and punched that wall or did whatever that stupid event? Like, no. Yeah. And more importantly, one day when I'm standing face to face with Jesus talking about my life, Well, I look back and think, man, that was so worth getting mad about. And it's always going to be no, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the answer is always, Jesus got angry for the right reason, right? When he went into the temple, twice, not once but twice, clearing the place out as they were taking advantage of people, he got mad about that. And so I challenge you to get mad about the right things. Get mad about the things that makes God mad, which is when he sees his kids being taken advantage of.
That's something else that is always in the back of my mind is it's okay to get mad, but get mad about the thing that hurt God's heart. And those are the things now that I try to. Okay.
Yeah, and James where he says, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry," because human anger doesn't produce the righteousness of God. So, it's funny how he ties anger with listening, and not talking.
Yeah.
Too many times we get going with this thing, and we're not even concerned with what we're hearing. We're just yapping away, and then we get mad. And we don't hear what we want to hear. And it's like, slow down. Jesus listened very calmly, and he spoke when he needed to speak. And I want to work on that too. And just quick to listen, slow to speak. And don't become so angry, so offended by everything. I love whenever you watch somebody now in the world of politics, they're always outraged. Oh, I'm outraged. They put on Twitter, I'm outraged. This outraged me. It's like, y'all just need to calm down, man. There's be a bunch of crazy people. All right, so we also studied about lust and adultery and how Jesus said, "You've heard it said, not commit adultery. But I tell you, if someone looks at a woman lustfully in her heart, with his heart, he's already committed adultery in his heart." And so, just to talk about that real quick, as men, what do you do? How do you avoid that? Because let's face it, y'all may not know this, but God made us to like you. You know that, right? God made us to desire you physically. That's because that's how God made us. There's a dynamic there, but it's not wrong. It's just wrong how you let it go.
Yeah, this was a big, when Maureen and I first got married, this was a big thing for me to deal with. I struggled with lust of the eyes and pornography and all that stuff. And so like you said on Sunday, sometimes there's literally times where I just put my head down, or turn around, go the other way, change the channel. All those are things. And it's hard because it's everywhere. It's so prevalent. I mean, you can't turn on, now we don't have live TV, but you still see ads and things. And I mean, there's half-naked girls selling everything. It's like, what in the world? And one of the things that going back, that kind of helped me through this is realize that's someone's daughter. Yeah. Like, I have daughters, and thankfully my daughters are very modest. Even Michaela, who will probably yell at me for talking about this, but she's very modest. She's very tall, so she's all legs, so her shorts are always an issue. But she's very modest, so that is good. Stay that way, all of you.
Stay that way.
But to remember that that's someone's daughter. I don't want someone looking at my daughter in an unhealthy way. So that helped me years ago, and even now, sometimes you just can't help it. You turn on a TV, or you're walking down the street or at the mall or wherever, and here comes, it's like, whoa, okay, let me look over here. Let me, and just keeping your eyes averted.
Yeah. Eye bounce. We call it eye bouncing. I do the same thing. And I've had to make certain decisions in my life too that I'm just not going to go there to set myself up. I don't like going to sporting events because they always have that time where the cheerleaders have to strut down and do the dance, and they're always seem to be on the aisle seat that I'm sitting on. So I just don't like going there. I don't need to go to a sporting event bad enough to where I need to put myself in that. Used to like Hooters wings, but I won't go to Hooters. I won't support it. I won't. We don't even buy Hooters wings because I just, like you, now I have a 16-year-old daughter, but I want somebody to be viewing her that way that most guys go into Hooters. Let's face it, that's what they go there for.
I've never been there for that reason.
Yeah.
Just because.
It's been a lot of years since I've been there. But but what I'm talking about is creating habits, changing habits, changing my mind, the way I think about things to not put myself in that. I referenced Job 31:1 on Sunday where Job said, "I've made a covenant with my eyes to not look lustfully upon a young woman." A covenant. Like not a handshake agreement, or I'll do it when I feel like that's it. Yeah. That's the covenant. I'm not going there. And I think if we get better at that as guys, and you mentioned how things work, and so we're on a computer a lot. All of it's part of our job, and you know how it is. You pop on an article, and this whole right side pops up with all these things trying to grab your eyes to go, and it's tough. It's tough, and I've often said that the two hardest habits to break are the habit of overeating, because you have to eat to survive, and the habit of lust of the eyes, because God's not stop making women anytime soon. So we're gonna have to deal with that as long as we live. So ladies, help us out. We talked about this Sunday. Dress appropriately. You do not want to cause another man to stumble while not even knowing it.
Well, I think the same can be said for us as guys too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't ever walk around with my shirt off because lots of reasons, but like, we have a rule in our house that when I'm not home, if the girls want to run around butt naked, I don't care. I'm not there. But when Daddy comes home, gotta put a shirt on. Gotta put a cami or a shirt and underwear on. Same thing. I don't walk around the house. The only time I'm in the house without a shirt on is when I get out of the shower, and that's the same reason. My girls, don't need to see all that. And guys, better looking guys than me walk around all the time with their shirts off, and girls have the same struggle. Now,
that's true.
Yes, guys are more prone to lust with their eyes because that's just the way we're created. But women struggle with that too.
That's a great point. Jesus mentions these words in that form because he's talking, remember, to his disciples, 12 guys.
Yeah.
So that's why he uses that language about, lusting after her in your heart. But that's the same thing that goes for women and men. So that's a great point. That 1 Corinthians 6:18 passage where he says, flee from sexual immorality.
Yeah.
That word, you break that down, means get out of town. Don't let it become flee, not walk away, not, let me just kind of make myself out of the situation. No, run, flee, get out of Dodge. You remember when Joseph was with Potiphar's wife, right? And she tried to come in and seduce him, and he ran so fast, he left his outer coat there and got him in trouble. So, but he was fleeing from something that could have caused him problems. So,
well,
anyway.
I've turned movies off. Movies I want to see. I'm a big movie guy, but there's times now where I'm just like, man, I don't want to see this. And it's hard to find movies without language and half naked men and women.
It is, and here's what we had to stop watching Netflix because I hate it. I get into a series, right? You get an episode in, it's like, okay, this looks interesting. I got you kind of hooked in.
Yeah.
Episode 2, it's building on it. It's really good. Episode 3, here come the F-bombs.
Yeah.
Episode 4, now we got the nudity making its first appearance. You're like, oh, man. Yeah. So we just kind of stopped. I used to like Netflix, but I can't get sucked into something that I like and then have to cut it out.
But those are the habits that and it's hard too when you're so used to it's just one scene.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just it's okay, just one thing,
a little bit of language.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, we talk about gateway drugs. When you're talking about drugs, there's such thing as gateway porn. I think and it starts with the eyes. What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you making concessions for? Oh, it's just this one making out scene. Well, is that going to lead everyone to hardcore porn? No, but
it ain't helping.
It doesn't. Right.
Garbage in and garbage out. And the music, you just mentioned what you listen to, man. If you listen to some of the stuff on the radio, like it's all suggestive. It's all leading that way, leading your mind to start thinking that way, desiring things, and you're just not desiring the righteousness of God.
It's hard. I DJ part-time on the side, and it's hard sometimes to play music for people to dance to that is not, I always say I do my best to censor it and edit it, and I want my littles, or anybody else's littles for that matter, to be able to come to anything that I do. But sometimes, man, that's hard. And people are like, oh, that's such a great song. And you ever stop and listen to the words?
Yeah.
No, it's got a great beat. Okay, go listen to the words.
No doubt about it. It's a tough battle, guys. We're going to fight it till the day we die. I used to hang out with a guy named Keef. I bragged it on before, and he said, man, it may not be pretty as it once was, but I still have that desire. And he was an older guy, and so it just tells me, guys, we're going to fight this till the day we die. And it's one of them battles like eating, like overeating. You have to just, because you got to eat. You have to have some portions of what you see. I can't hide myself in my basement like I'm on COVID for the rest of my life and not look at women because it's just not realistic. We have to go to the store and go to church. I've seen it in church. Yeah, girls wearing stuff in church. Now, not at Christ Family, obviously, because we have coached that, but I've seen it in the past.
Well, and it's when I I was very open with my wife. Hey, I struggle with this, and now she's one of those safeguards for me. Of sometimes she'll catch things before I even do. And hey, let's go over here, or hey, let's turn this off, or hey, So I think, again, not everyone's married, but having someone else too that can say, all right, hey, let's make an about face, and and I'm sure she's done that, and I've never even noticed, which is the whole point. She's been able to head that off, I'm sure, but just any little thing you can do like that, and start those new habits. Whatever the thing is, start those new habits and get somebody, especially if you're married, a spouse that can encourage you and walk alongside you with that.
It's important. I know we don't want to act like we're beating up on guys and girls for that matter either. It is okay to be attracted to someone. It's not okay to have a desire in your heart.
Right.
That's what he's talking about. So don't feel like as you're out and about and you see somebody who's attractive that I'm going to go to hell.
Yeah.
Satan's got me. No.
Yeah.
You are allowed to be attracted, so you just can't. You're just stop it there. Just like any other thing, when he's talking about this anger, when we talked about anger last, it's not okay to kill people. We know that, right? It's not okay to have that hatred in your heart towards somebody. It's okay to get mad.
Right.
It is okay to get mad.
Yeah.
It's just slow down, breathe. Okay, let's just think about God for a minute, right? So
it's what you do with those thoughts. Like I got this from my grandfather. I'm a people watcher. I could go. I know around here there's no malls, but I could go to the mall and I could sit for hours and hours and just watch people, watch people's interactions and see all the different people. And so there's nothing wrong with thinking, oh, there's an attractive woman. Okay, she's attractive. Move on to the next person.
Right.
It's, oh, there's an attractive woman, and then you start to think about her and what you might do, and it's where your mind goes and how your heart reacts to seeing that attractive woman or an attractive man. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with you can't avoid God's beauty in all shapes and forms, right? But it's what you do with it and how you interact with those thoughts and where your heart goes.
Chances are there's a reason you asked your wife out.
Right.
She was physically attractive.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just get past that. It's not the physical attraction, it's what you do with your desires.
Yep.
And this is what this whole topic, Jesus is going to go on for several more weeks as we study through Matthew 5, 6, and 7, the Sermon on the Mount. That's what he's talking about, is where the desire of your heart goes. You've heard it said you shouldn't murder and you shouldn't commit adultery. But I want to talk about your heart real quick, because that's what leads to that.
Yep.
Proverbs 4:23, I mentioned it Sunday too, it says, above all else, guard your heart, because everything you do flows from it.
Yep.
So if you're guarding your heart, if you're not listening to the stuff you shouldn't, if you're not watching the stuff you shouldn't, if you're not letting little things go and get closer and closer to sin as you can, it's just you're guarding your heart. So good things will come out of you.
Yep.
Have we had any Thanksgiving things yet?
We have. We've had a whole bunch, actually.
What are we thankful for?
Let's see. Miss Patty is thankful for Jesus in her life, especially during this year. Amen to that.
Right.
Jeremy says, both of you have been amazing this year, and not just to me, but to others, I'm sure. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Love you, buddy.
Your sister said she is thankful for a job that allows her to work from home and to be safe now that her son is remote learning and is able to be home with him.
Yeah, she's got two little guys. They're so cute too. So that actually is a good. Thanks for mentioning that, Audrey, because nice to be able to kind of hang out with the little guys. Yeah. I know one's in school now, but
and she's also thankful for family and a place to live. Miss
useful
Becky,
things.
Strict matter. Is thankful for CFCC, her family, and being a part of God's family.
Yeah. Oh, I love you guys, Becky, Rich. You guys are just servant rock stars. I mean,
yes,
we use the word rock star a lot, but you guys are the epitome of servant-hearted leaders, man, for sure.
That's about it on the thankfulness stuff.
All right.
Your sister said they watch Disney Plus a lot.
Yeah, good call.
Cool. And then that's about it on the thankful stuff.
Thanks for sharing what you're thankful for to share, man. My encouragement to you is if you are thankful for someone, call them tomorrow and tell them that. Text them if you don't do calls, but text them. I guess there's a Facebook way, Messenger, whatever that is. That's his lingo, not mine. Facebook's for old people, my kids would say, by the way.
Yeah, well, but they say that, but now there's so many young people coming back to Facebook.
That's true, and you're on it now, by the way.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, let them know. If you're thankful for somebody, let them know. I'm never above encouragement. I love to encourage. That's my spiritual gift, but I love to get it too. So.
Yeah, we got an email the other day out of the blue from somebody to the leadership team, and it was just thanking us, and I was like, oh, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Because encouragement is not my gift, if you hadn't picked up on that. But
we'll use each other's talents. He's good at a lot of stuff I'm not, so we make a good team.
Yes, yes we do.
And the fireplace is really good to see stuff. What are you thankful for, fireplace? Okay.
We had to put one log in there, even though we can't have a real fire. But maybe we could. I don't know. Not today.
Next week.
Too hot. But hey, thank you guys for joining us. I know we took a week off, and today kind of seemed a little whatever. But I feel like most days we're kind of just all over the place. But we make it work. You guys
right.
keep checking us out, hanging out with us. We appreciate that. Like Pat said, Sundays we are right here in Homosassa. There's signs everywhere that lead you back to the tent. This Sunday we'll be having breakfast. So a little deviation from our normally scheduled programming, but again, who doesn't like food? We'll get to hang out, have some breakfast. We will still take communion together as a family because that is something that is so important to us that we always want to take time and pause and remember what God has done for us. Again, you're on Facebook watching us, but check us out on our website, the ever-updating website. Hopefully it's getting better. We got a bunch of people working on that. Follow us on Instagram. YouTube is still there. YouTube's still limping along. It seems to say that every week. But it's getting better, I think. Getting some traction. But either way, it's just another way for a lot of people aren't on Facebook, and they can go check us out on YouTube. All our sermons, this show is on there. And someday maybe we'll post more stuff. I don't know. We're just kind of winging it at this point.
Yeah, if you're looking for some organizational thing, there's much better shows out there. But if you want just a couple of guys having fun in the fireplace or table or whatever, come on back. Hey, we're looking for our 13th guest. So if you have somebody you know that might enjoy this on Wednesdays, we're looking for number 13.
Keep sharing, keep liking and commenting. Again, it's not about us, but get God's word out there, get our message out there, and keep inviting people.
And have a little fun along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. We like to have fun. When it's time to work, we work hard, but when it's time to play, we definitely play hard. And we are two of the goofiest guys you probably ever meet.
That's right.
Like to have some fun. But invite somebody.
Gift, goofy.
Cool. I think that's all I got. Yeah, that's it.
See you all Sunday.
See you guys Sunday. We'll probably close in prayer.
Oh, yeah, let's talk to God, shall we? It's my turn, isn't it?
It is your turn.
It'll always be my turn. Father, we are so thankful for laughter. Teach us to do it more. Teach us to laugh and have fun and not be so outraged like the world is and so angry. And help guard our eyes, God, as we walk through this life, and just remind us it's about you. And when we follow you, God, I'll follow you anywhere because your paths are great. Your rules, as David said in the book of Psalms, your rules, your decrees, your precepts are perfect and are good for me, and I delight in them. And so continue to mold our hearts to think that way, God, because you do have a best plan worked out for us. And when we follow you, you just do amazing things. Even in a crazy year like this, you grow us, you mold us, and more importantly, you love us. And so thank you for that love. It's my prayer in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
See you guys out.
Later, guys.